guys, it's April, and since it's the middle of the month, I figured we'd get back on schedule and start doing some monthly wrap-ups again. This time around, I only have 5 books to talk about for this first half of the month. Technically, if I'm supposed to keep up with my Goodreads goal, I'm supposed to read at least 3 books a week, and I'm not quite hitting there right now, but I've got vacations and the summer is coming. I'm not worried about it. And with all of that rambling out of the way, let's just start talking about books. The first book that I picked up for the month of April was Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi. This is the story of Juliet, who, when the story opens out, is kept in this prison asylum type area because something in her past is a little off. The writing in this story is very evocative of some kind of psychosis or some kind of insanity that is instilled within Juliet. You can tell just by the repetition and just by the way some of her thoughts form that something isn't right. She's got some mental things that are going on. And later on, we start to realize that her touch can cause other humans physical pain. She is almost a human torture device, and people want to use that to further their end goals. This is a very popular story. There are better covers than this, but I figured I'd just dive in, see if it was something that I would enjoy, and then continue on from there. Like I said, the writing is very evocative of all of the mental things that are going on with Juliet, but the storyline itself I wasn't really that excited about. It was hard to picture this dystopic world that they were trying to build when you don't really see a lot of it. And then of course you've got the stereotypical which guy is the good guy. You've got the bad boy image and you've got the good boy image, both vying for Juliet's attention. And yes, I can see kind of where a lot of that is going and why a lot of people grasp onto this story. I wasn't having it. And then the end came, and some of the things that happened in the end, and I hate to say it, the wardrobe at the end is probably what just broke me. I busted out laughing so bad. I can't, guys. This isn't something that I don't know. I would love to know your opinions on this story. It's something that I'm still battling with, and there's probably things that I just didn't pick up or didn't connect with, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on it down below. But otherwise, I'm probably not going to continue on in this series. Then I picked up Out of Abaton by Jean-Claude Bemis. This is The Wooden Prince. It is a retelling of Pinocchio. This is more of a middle grade read, but I did enjoy some of the nuances in it. It's the story of Pinocchio set in a world with a lot of steampunk elements. It sticks very true to the original Pinocchio story, and for that I enjoyed it. I probably didn't connect as well to the story because it was more of a middle grade read and it didn't develop a lot out of that. It was very intriguing and something that I do recommend for a younger audience. It is something that I very much would have picked up and loved when I was in my elementary years. Then I picked up A Wounded Name by Hutchison. I originally got this book because of the cover. This beautiful, beautiful piece of art was created by Brooke Shaden, and I am on a mission to collect all of the books that have her artwork on the cover. So this is one of a couple that I have currently. This is a retelling of Hamlet. In this retelling, we are seeing everything fall out through Ophelia's eyes. It is a modern day retelling, but it still has some of that flowery Shakespearean words, and I like it for that. The fact that we are in Ophelia's mind as this story plays out, I think that was my favorite part because you can see some of the disconnect and some of the brokenness of Ophelia. You don't know if she's actually insane or if she just sees more of the world than the average human being does. And then it builds out the relationship between Ophelia and Hamlet, who in this story is called Dane, and just how dysfunctional it is and how messed up all of it really came down to be. And the fact that Ophelia struggles with a lot of things that people have been pressing upon her and trying to teach her, and this kind of class structure and women's suppression that happens and how she sees it, but she still struggles with it herself. That's what I like the most about this story. And of course, you all know how it's gonna end, and I do like how it does end, and the way the words play out to that end. This is probably my favorite read of the month so far. I really liked it. Then I picked up a short story by Shirley Jackson called The Lottery. I didn't know what I was getting into when I picked up this story. It was one of those things that just kind of fell into my lap. It is a horror story dealing with this society that may be in the future, or some kind of, yeah, I don't want to give too much away, but they're dealing with the lottery and then things just go and it just happens. I could see where it was all going just because of the very nature of the fact that I knew what kind of writing it was, but the way it slowly lays out and just the mundaneness of it and then the ending, yeah, that was a thing. And finally, I picked up Heartless by Gail Killinger. This is the 4th book in the Parasol Protectorate series. I really, truly enjoy this series, the pure nonsense of it all, the snarkiness, the sassiness. This is werewolf, vampire, steampunk set in Victorian London, which is what captured me from the very beginning. And Alexia, the character of Alexia, I relate to her so much. I'm pretty sure I'd be soulless if I was in this universe, because it's all about the logic and not necessarily about the frills of everything. And here we get to see the continuation of Alexia's storyline and how she's dealing with marriage and life and family and werewolves and vampires, and it's absolutely wonderful. If you haven't picked up the Soulless series and you like adult romance, steampunk, vampire, werewolf, you need to pick up this series. And so those were all of the books that I have read so far in April. I have really truly enjoyed what I have read so far this month. I think it's going to be a really good reading month for me, which is appropriate seeing as my namesake is the month right now. It's a thing. Tell me down below what your favorite read so far this month is, and I heard your beautiful faces. Bye.